Armored trains, simply put, are armed trains that typically have heavy protective armor and provide ample light and heavy firepower. They operate along railway lines and many have their own unique names, performing excellently on the battlefield. However, not all armored trains are formidable. During World War II, the UK equipped a mini-armored train, also known as a micro-armored train. The main factor limiting the size of armored trains is the size of the railway tracks. Throughout the history of railway development, there have been significant differences in track sizes due to different units of length and different purposes in different countries, and even within a single country due to differences in construction time and purpose. In 1940, after the Dunkirk evacuation, the UK began to take over some key railway lines, including a narrow-gauge light rail located in the southeast of England with a track gauge of only 15 inches, 380 millimeters. This was the narrowest practical railway track in history and was typically used for various estates to transport fruits and vegetables. Both the UK and the US had used it extensively, and even now, some small towns still use it. Because of its proximity to France, it could become the primary direction of attack by the German army against mainland UK. Therefore, this narrow-gauge railway became very important, and the British specifically built a mini-armoured train for it, one of the 13 Homeland Defence armoured trains in the UK at the time. The narrow gauge meant that it could not bear too much weight. This mini-train not only had mini-sized carriages, but also a mini-length. It had a locomotive with protective steel plates called Hercules installed at the front, and a modified armored carriage connected to the front and rear of the locomotive. Originally light transport carriages, these carriages were protected by armor plates on all sides, with openings on the top where soldiers could partially expose themselves to operate weapons. Its weapon configuration was quite simple, with each armored carriage being equipped with one Boy's anti-tank rifle, as well as two Lewis or Vickers machine guns, one for anti-aircraft combat and one for ground shooting. The train carried a certain amount of ammunition, and there was also a small car carrying spare ammunition following it. Operating this mini-armored train required only 7 people. The train belonged to the 6th Battalion of the Somerset Light Infantry, and soldiers usually also carried Thompson submachine guns, Bren light machine guns, and Lee Enfield rifles as auxiliary light weapons. Despite its small size and lack of formal encounters with German ground forces, the mini-armored train still played a role in combat. It was recorded that during World War II, it shot down one Bf-109 fighter, one He-111 bomber, and one Do-17 bomber. After the Battle of Britain, the crisis in mainland UK was resolved, and the UK handed over the armoured train to the Polish military stationed there, before transferring it to the Home Guard in 1942 and then retiring it shortly after.